Sagittarius, this is your February 2025 soul story if you have a sun, rising or moon in the sign. This is your reading. It's Romy. Thanks so much for joining me on the channel. We're opening up this month for you with the Daughter of Staffs, the Page of Wands. I do think that you are thinking about things very differently as you enter into the month. Remember, we're going to be working with third house energy. So there's a real sort of cerebral, why do I think what I think? Why do I believe what I believe? And how can I challenge that? How have I moved beyond old patterns, old ways of thinking, and, you know, really bringing about this idea of wanting new strategies of how to get to where you are trying to move your life towards. Now, we open up on the first of the month with Venus, Neptune, and the North Node all coming together in Pisces, and it feels to me that there's almost like a download, a communication or a feeling or an experience that you have, and it gives you some kind of an insight. And, you know, maybe it's barely perceptible, but it's enough to make you realize that I'm on the right track, or I can believe in the things that I'm intuitively thinking about at the moment. That feeling is going to carry you all the way through until we arrive at the new moon in Pisces later in the month on the 27th. And I think it's really important because regardless of what you then need to navigate between those two moments in time, it's almost like you have that as a very supportive kind of spiritual backbone, if you like, that's acting almost like a North Star energy to kind of keep you moving in the direction that you're meant to be. Now, Venus shifts into Aries, fellow fire sign, on the 3rd, and there's definitely a sort of rising sense of passion and motivation that's entering into the month, because we're also going to see Jupiter stationing direct in Gemini on the 4th. We're also going to have Mars going direct in Cancer on the 23rd. And so there are this sort of green light energies that are starting to emerge. And for you, I think it's also about what you create this month, Sagittarius. You know, creating community, creating memories, connection, meaning, opportunities, possibilities, memories, love. You know, when you have a sense of, you know, how you want to bring more creation energy into your life, it naturally, to me, seems that solutions are starting to come into your awareness. And that's very important, because there may have been some things going on for you of late where you just, no matter how many ways you try to look at it, couldn't particularly find a way forward, or you weren't able to decipher something that gave you enough of a clarity. And I think this is, you know, how, as the Queen of Wands absolutely testifies, you know, you're going to be able to feel less oppressed, less depressed, less trapped in any way. And it's going to really let you open up to discover what more there is for you. I feel like this is a month that's saying, you know, stop waiting for the right time, Sagittarius, okay? When you shift what is inside, you're going to shift what is going to be happening in your pathway so clearly. Now, with Jupiter stationing direct, I think that there's some sort of upward swing or a silver lining, or, you know, some bountiful opportunity that comes in quite quickly. So make sure you're prepared for that. And as you build up to the full moon that arrives in Leo, another fire energy to work with, there's a boldness that's coming about with you. You know, I think that you're finally ready. And I want to say to you, particularly around that full moon in Leo, they're going to judge you anyway, so keep going, okay? This is not a time to let temporary emotions stop you from taking the steps towards your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions. You know, Aquarian energy is so aspirational in how it reminds us of the things that actually drive us. And again, I believe that what you experience and lean into at the beginning of the month is also the sort of quiet whisper that will help you to keep going. I really like that the Queen of Wands, Page of Wands come through, because I think you need a bit of that fire. You need to feel motivated, but you also need to feel that there's some hope. And I think the star is bringing through that healing energy. You know, once is a mistake, twice becomes a decision. So there's also a realization perhaps that what you have been continuing to do that has been harmful, or what you have continued to allow by way of somebody else's behavior that you now realize has become a conscious choice, i.e., that they are knowing exactly what they're doing and you also know what they're doing. So there's, a little bit of that sort of realization and maybe some tough talking with yourself. Again, I think the courage and confidence that comes through around that full moon also helps you to put something first for yourself, realizing that, you need to address or to deal with something. And, maybe it's felt a little bit confronting in order to do that or to get to a place. But I do think there's something about this month that's going to help you to feel more ready than you have been. I also think it's perhaps time to try again, try again with something that, you have felt really blocked with, or you weren't able to finish because of any myriad of different reasons that perhaps were out of your control. And by the way, February is absolutely a month, Sagittarius, where you're going to want to think about what is in and what is out of your control so that you don't waste and deplete your energy, okay? But the star, again, acting as that sort of north compass, to help keep you on track, also brings about to a specific situation a healing energy that can absolutely help maybe communication to free up a bit, or more understanding or compassion to come through. I think the pages are just opening up the doors, opening up the lines of communication, and that feels really beneficial for you as well. Whether you need closure, whether, there's something that has to be resolved, and particularly where you have felt stuck. Now, the Hanged Man, I think, is really symbolic for you in this month of February. There are going to be times where you feel this is going nowhere, or I still feel stuck. And sometimes we can almost like talk ourselves into things that we think we are experiencing. There's a word that comes to mind with this, which is surrender. Surrender into what is happening, how it's happening. And if you don't yet know the why it's happening, I feel like it's more from a state of just reflection and allowing that the answer to that is going to come through for you, okay? Your guides, spirit, the universe, they want you to see something in a slightly different way. And that might mean that you feel that there's a roadblock or something gets held up in a way that you weren't anticipating. But it will help you, and it might not feel like that straight away. However, I think that as you move your way through to the mid-month, we do have Mercury shifting into Pisces, so it almost helps you to kind of transcend the limitations of the experience, right? It's very nebulous energy. It's working with Neptune, as is the Hanged Man, and I feel like that can be super helpful and beneficial for you. We also have the asteroid goddess Pallas Athena shifting into Aquarius on the 16th. Now, remember, she's supporting you with strategies, with plans, and here she wants to bring about change for the better. But that might mean that you need to address something that actually maybe you weren't even realizing that it wasn't serving you, it wasn't right, it wasn't going to work. And multiple reasons for that, and all of them sort of coming into your understanding so that there's more of a place of acceptance and there's a shift that happens, okay? I also feel that, there may be part of you that almost holds yourself back because you're like, I'm not ready, I haven't learned enough, I don't have enough. But honestly, it feels to me that this is a month where it's kind of like learn and make changes on the go. You can restart, you can rebuild, you can reimagine anything and everything in your life at any given moment. You know that the future that you want is based on the decisions that you're making today, and that truth, that reality that you've known for a very long time has never been more readily clear to you as it is in the month of February. Now, Nine of Staffs also tells me that we're clearing the air here. We can see the same with the Page of Wands, that incense stick and the matches. It just feels like something needs to be addressed so that we clear the air. And it may be that there's something that's felt a little bit stagnant, even in and around your surroundings, right? We come into Pisces season, it's 4th house. So maybe where you work, the place that you're spending time, just needs that sort of almost like detoxification to come through. Remember what I said, this is a month where you're going to be focused on creating things. And sometimes we can find it difficult to create if there's a lot of clutter around us, a lot of chaos or old energies. We have to make way for the new. So there's this realization, and as we approach the 19th, Juno, asteroid goddess, is coming into your sign, and I feel like there's a real nice boost happening at that time for you. Remember, she's supporting you to find greater freedom in any of the agreements or the commitments or the relationships that you have in your world right now. And it may be that, again, this clearing of the air, this realizing what you want to create, is also helping you to feel more bold and confident in that one-to-one energy of, you know, maybe expressing what your needs, wants, and desires are. But you're not going to want to put anything in place that feels overly restrictive while Juno's in Sagittarius. That is just not going to work for you. So definitely take some time if something comes up and it feels like it's not really giving you any wiggle room, or it feels like you're compromising beyond what you know that your body is kind of telling you, like, there's something off with this. This doesn't feel right for me. You got to really listen to that. 9 of Wands says that maybe trust has been eroded a little bit with regards to something. So maybe you're looking for more security. You want something to feel more just clear. But just remember, and sort of asking for that, something can end up being like almost like over-egged, or it's like overdone, and then it becomes almost like too clinical is what I'm picking up, okay? Now, when Mars stations direct in Cancer on the 23rd, I feel like there's a little bit of a breath of relief, because I feel there's a lot of being sort of churning up of emotions going on with regards to things. There's our 3 of Swords. You see a lot of old pain that needed to be sat down with and sort of contemplated and reflected upon, you know. And again, as I talked about this freedom, this coming to a new understanding in regards to a commitment, a relationship, an experience with Juno, it may be that something has happened or is happening right now that has been the source of some upset or some challenges for you. The pain point can also be deeply triggering. You know, we also talk about old pain when we work with the energy of the 3 of Swords, but it's also deeply clarifying, and I think that is so needed for you with regards to this month. Again, remember what I said about once is a mistake, twice becomes a decision. And it may be that, you know, sometimes we break our own heart because, you know, we keep putting ourselves through things that you're like, why am I doing this? Like, this is not good for me. Like, I need to move on from this. And by the way, the awareness that you've got, because sometimes it can feel like, how on earth am I ever going to be able to heal this or recover from this or move on from this? The more and more aware you are of the thoughts that you're thinking, remember this is your 3rd house energy season, and the more aware you are of the behaviors that you're taking, the actions that you're taking or not, it becomes almost just like it's so loud that you can't ignore it. That's at the point of change, and you're right there, Sagittarius. So in some ways it could feel incredibly intense in some aspects. However, like I said, when we arrive at that new moon, there's just like this sort of soul call, this pull, this sort of directive that's saying, okay, like, I've got to go this way, which means I have to let go of this. Now, remember, we're also going to be working with Venus in her shadow energy, because she's going to be stationing retrograde next month in both Aries and Pisces. And so there might be some key themes that are coming up that you're going to be sitting with and you're going to be exploring a little bit more over the next few weeks, okay? But you're prepped and understanding of that. And I think maybe even there's a part of you that's like, yeah, this needs to get addressed. Like, this really does, because I have to look truly at the value of me and how I am respecting that and how it is showing up for me in all of the relationships in my world. So I feel like February is super powerful in terms of what it's activating for you, what it's bringing to you, entering into the month with this spiritual insight and this motivating Wands energy, the fire that you need in your belly, right? To just kind of say, I'm going to take this and I'm going to move on it and I'm going to act on it now. This is just so timely, I think. You're going to be super proud of yourself by the time you get to the end of this month, okay? Because there's something that you're going to have faced, addressed, or put into motion that you would never have believed, even just a few weeks ago, that you would have been capable of. But here we are, and you will absolutely be in the right headspace and in the right energy with the right attitude and approach to make it happen. It's super powerful. If you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we're going to look at in my extended reading, you can join me by clicking on the link in the comment and description box underneath. Talk for another 25 minutes or so. We'll also look at a relationship card for you and any personal question that you have as well. And I hope that you'll be able to join me if it's resonating. It's just a way for me to keep showing up on the channel. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify the cards, just see the direction we'll be taking this reading for you. We've got our Five of Wands coming through here, Wheel of Fortune, Six of Wands coming through there, and the Five of Pentacles. What about the Star? Now you can check out over on my website, romywiser.com, my sacred titles, my oracle deck, my new journal, and my book Moon Musing. Also ways to work with me, some of the services that I offer resuming through the course of February and beyond. So be sure to check that out and join my newsletter. And if you want to see the decks that I'm using, they're always listed below also. Okay, Three of Swords. What have we got? Nine of Swords. King of Cups. Okay. I feel like I want to say, like, don't let somebody run rings around you, you know? It may just be that someone is very adept at sort of emotionally manipulating or making the situation feel a lot more intense. I don't know, I have this sort of recurring energy that feels like they're in and around you with that coming through. Okay, let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. What have we got for you? The Gathering, beautiful. We've got Casting Out Constellations. This is the way, this is the work. We've got Portals of Possibility, love that. Crown Energy, yes. Spirit Horse. The Guide and the Gift. This feels perfectly Sagittarian in its energy for you this month. Okay, I'm going to pull one more. So this is our Moon Manifesting Oracle cards. Let's see what we have for you. We've got Last Quarter Moon in Scorpio. Reveal what needs to be seen. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Have a really beautiful month ahead. Take good care of yourselves, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.